hypothetical viewers, and welcome back to Shining Force. For some reason, very abruptly halfway through the previous episode, my recording software gave me an error that the um, the encoding was had overloaded or whatever. I'm not an expert on these things, so I quickly stopped the video just in case that meant it was not going to record anymore. And it seems to have, saved and um, compiled correctly, so I'm not totally sure what that was about. I didn't change any of the quality settings. It's still at 30 FPS. The CPU usage is not huge or anything, so yeah, I don't know why I did that. But I guess it's fine. Maybe it was just a weird thing. Maybe something else running in the background of my computer was messing it up. I have no idea. That was puzzling. Hopefully it is fine. I should probably rewatch some of these just to check that it's working correctly. I did that for Oh Nice to Protect Milk, literally every video for the ones I recorded on the Switch, but I got a little lazy for for the ones on OBS because it's so easy to record them that it was just like, oh, I'll just do another one. Yeah, so I have a little tendency to just keep going because it's so easy to quickly record a bunch. That's fine, whatever. It'll all work out. Hopefully. But yeah, that was so weird. I don't know why it was having issues. Because the quality settings are plenty low. They really should not be having a problem. I guess I could mess around with it more. I mean, it seems like it should be fine, but I'll continue to keep an eye on it. But anyway, yeah, at the at the end of the last one, which was like 2 seconds ago, from my perspective, I was talking about how until I had to find a ROM, look at this ROM and stuff to record this game, that was when I looked at when I'm Googling it and looking at the text of the results, and I realized it actually said Sword of Hajya. And apparently as a child, in my mind, I just transposed the letters. I was mind blown. but yeah, after calling it that for 20 years, I'm having some trouble remembering that it's actually Sword of Hajya. Hajya also, I find it slightly, maybe it's just because I'm used to it, but it's easier to say and it sounds better to me. I'm it should be the Sword of Hajya, but it is not. And I must make an effort to remember that it is the Sword of Hajya. I wonder if that enemy resists freeze, because it did less damage. I can have Eric come up here and maybe check out that door. You know what? I'm actually gonna have her just go this way too, so maybe we can try and get Chester this kill. Just because then Chester can get a level up and we can kind of all be, kind of even. And I mean, this video is going to be hella short because I cut the last one in the middle because I was concerned that the recording software was freaking out. So we have plenty of time to dither around and fish for kills with specific characters. If this one is super short, maybe we'll just blast ahead into the next chapter and make it a super long one. I think the next battle isn't terribly long, and we could always just go until it's 30 minutes and then egress and just, that way we'll get some extra levels. Very good. So now Chester's level 8, so now everyone is kind of, okay, not Slade, but oh no, he got to there too. Okay, so now everyone is kind of comfortably level 8. So that's good. We're kind of keeping everyone pretty even. Whenever we get a new character, I'm sure that this will eventually involve off-screen grinding because I still really... Oh, I couldn't even search that. So what the hell is it? Was it just a door in the cutscene and it just looks like something you can interact with? Because it really looks like something you can interact with, but apparently it's not. I was just saying something and now I've forgotten. Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be grinding just because I really still want to promote everyone when they're at the max. I just like to. It's not because it's necessary to play this game. The game is not that difficult. It's not because it's certainly not more efficient, but I just really like it. Promoting them early would bug me. I do this in Fire Emblem too. I'm like must max level. It's just deeply satisfying. So I will probably I'll like do it in the background with like, at fast I'll like use I'll speed it up. The speed up. Um it's not fast forward. I forget what the setting on the emulator is called. But I'll boost the speed and just grind while I'm watching some YouTube videos or something. Got Ben up to level 8. Oh yeah, damn, he was still at 7 too. I forgot that he also had fallen behind. Gotta make sure he stays competitive. So now we have like everyone at 8 with a couple 9. Okie dokie. Let's just have Natasha keep flinging some spells. Hopefully I can get her up to 9 pretty soon. Does anybody need a heal? I do want to use up all of Slade's MP if we can. It's a good chunk of healing for him, Of X for him, rather. Sorry, it's using all of the heals that he can use is a very nice little pile of X. That's like 70 X per battle, like with 22 HP that each cost 3. That's good. That's most of the way to the level. Though he doesn't fall behind quite as much. I should do with Luke too, I kind of was forgetting. Even though he has gotten ahead in level, like, that's the nice thing about X from healing, right? Is that it, it's basically like his personal pool of X, so it doesn't end up taking away X that other characters could have gotten by defeating enemies. He can just kind of have it basically for free, which is super nice. Okay. So our goal at this point is to get everyone up to level 9. And in the next chapter, we're probably just the rest of this one. I'll just blast through and then we can egress and have a proper length video next time. But basically, the next character we'll recruit is our other mage named May. And she is the one who uses freeze, which, as I've said several billion times, I apologize. If there ever are any actual viewers, I do apologize for how boring and repetitive my commentary is. I lose track of what I've said before, and I don't have very many different things to say. That's the sad truth of the matter. That's, sad to say, but there it is. Just gotta admit it. But yeah, she was super broken in the original game because of Freeze 3, but I think that bug is fixed in this version. Or at the very least, it wasn't present in the first of the Gaiden games. I'm assuming it's not in this either. Which is a little bit of a bummer, but is probably for the best. But yeah, so she'll just basically be a normal mage, who I'll still use because I love the mages, even though they do get less good later in the game, but I just think magic is fun to use. Like, it's a fantasy game, right? I gotta have my wizards. Let's go guns blazing with a blaze too. I think these guys may be resistant to freeze. Very nice. Oh, very good. Natasha actually reached level 9. More MP, very excellent. There's no sight as pleasant as that of an over-leveled wizard. Man, sometimes you just say a sentence and you're like, has this sentence ever been said before? Why would anyone have said it? It baffles the mind. It's the beauty of language. You can develop novel utterances easily. And then out of context, they're very head-scratching. Okay, it's sad because if I hadn't ended up needing to cut the recording, this would have been like super close to be. We would have been like 25, 30 minutes, so it would have been like the correct length. It would have actually worked well. That is the nice thing about and this is, I feel like, and this is one of those things where I'm like, this is now my impression, but I would have to go back and actually check to see if it's true. I feel like battles, like the two Gaiden games have been much easier to fit the battles into 20 to 30 minute episodes. They're very snappy. I feel like sometimes they were a little longer in Shining Force 1 and 2, but there was also the exploration aspect, so maybe that's why I'm remembering it being like, oh, I needed more time, because you don't have that here. But it makes it very nice for this format, where it's just like, oh, you could just, each battle is basically one episode. It fits very cleanly. Except at times like this, when I end up having them combined in weird ways. But then again, the actual battles are not really like, the cutscenes are what tells the story, so the battle could be split up into whatever. It's not like my commentary is revealing a lot about the game. There's only so much to say. This might kill Slade. The Hell Sniper is more powerful than the other enemies. Yep, sorry, buddy. You're not very strong is the thing. You kind of suck. Hate to say it, but you're not that good. Well, Slade's not getting another level, but I would like to... Well, I don't think he won't kill him. I want to give the KO to someone who's not already level 9. Maybe we could give it to main character. Oh, great. Jaha. I'll have him attack with the spear because I want to save the spot next to him so that Ben can maybe get in there and attack. Spear is weaker though, quite a bit. Luke's all of MP, oh well. Chester, you're also level 8, it's fine if you get the kill as well. Oh man, 1 HP left. Now anyone can have it. If only Slade hadn't died. We could give it to him. Oh, now I face temptation because I am super tempted to just feed it to Natasha out of favoritism, but I can't let the main character fall behind. I must not let the main character fall behind. I just noticed the main character is wearing some very snazzy purple pants and shirt. This is another character where I feel like in the Game Gear game he had white and blue. Maybe that's easier to like do the sprites in or whatever, but the purple's very snazzy. Gordon escaped through this tunnel. We can catch him if we hurry. This tunnel leads to Portobello. This is May, by the way. She's a dog person. Remember how Shining Force 1 had like tons of different weird fantasy races? This game also has that. Also, as a side note, Portobello is a kind of mushroom, portobello mushrooms. I don't know if it's spelled the same way, because I don't really eat them particularly. I'm more likely to use a shiitake mushroom. That's the kind I usually buy. But yeah, portobello mushrooms. Although I guess it could be like Porto... Maybe it's supposed to be like it's not spelled properly, but like Puertobello, like beautiful something, or, beautiful port or something. I don't know. But anyway, it makes me think of the food. Oh, her sprite has the ears. It looks very cool. Her map sprite. Forgive me, I've forgotten to introduce myself. I'm May, the royal sorceress. When the castle started crumbling, I came to save the king. I'm sorry to inform you, but the king has been murdered. No, it can't be. The one who's responsible, a man named Gordon, was pretending to be the king. He escaped through that tunnel. Now I know why the king was behaving so strangely. So they did notice. They just... Honestly, that's fair. It's like he's literally the king. What are they gonna... They're gonna be like, he's a little weird lately, but he's also the king, so we can't really say anything or do anything about that, That's the problem with a monarchy is your system. I don't know if it would be like monarchical or... It might be monarchical, but I'm not sure. Monarchical? Uncertain. And you're following Gordon now? Yes, we must get the Sword of Hajya back. To think that our kind and generous king was murdered. They'll pay for this. Please take me with you. May the Mage has joined the Shining Force. See, this game doesn't have Sorcerer as a class. It wasn't until Shining Force 2 where you had some of the secret promotions, so although her plot title is the Royal Sorceress, she is just a mage. This tunnel is like a maze. Follow me closely. We're about to see that it is nothing like a maze. It's a straight line. That falling animation and sound effect are pretty great. They're very satisfying. Anyway, we're like, this ended up being almost exactly it would be 30 minutes if I watched the cutscene, because it's like 15 minutes now. Ben, you're in charge while I go and see what's up ahead. It's great that you're giving us orders, even though you joined our group 5 seconds ago. Who's there? You followed me. That voice, Gordon! Don't look so surprised, you'll not escape us. We'll follow you until we get the sword back. So you'll pursue me to the gates of Hades? I'm gonna say that was definitely the gates of hell in the original Japanese or whatever, and they translated as gates of Hades because of like censorship in the US. Because no one says the gates of Hades, it's the gates of hell. Okay, yeah, it would have been like exactly 15 minutes. Man, what a bummer. Well, maybe I will just, you can see that this map, well, maybe I'll say a few things about the map just to pad us out of it here. We have a new enemy, the priest, who has better healing, basically. Still got our rat flies. Gordon is here. Is this where you actually kill him, or does he leave like when you're getting there and then you fight him later? I don't actually remember. If you heard a ping and like a beep in the background, that was my phone. My roommates were sending to the group text that our internet is out. I noticed that actually. It's true. It's out. It's just the general state of things. It's been bad since the pandemic started. Everyone's online, working from home and school and stuff. But yeah, he has freeze too, and he has boost. I don't remember whether we fight him here, or if this is one of those fake outs where he'll like walk away when the battle starts. It's been a long time since I played the game. Still got the Dark Mage. We have the Hell Sniper. Now, it might seem to you like, wow, this map doesn't have many enemies, but if I remember correctly, zombies appear when we go over there. Let's check out our new friend. One thing, gotta say as a side note, one thing I really like about the Sega CD version of the game that we are currently playing versus the Game Gear version, and I love the Game Gear version. I have so much nostalgia for it. I had so much fun playing as a kid, but obviously the graphics were not as good. And one thing I like a lot is that each character in this version has a unique map sprite. In the original version, this was not the case. I think they had different like palettes, so some of them were different colors, I think, maybe. I'm not totally sure, but it was the same picture. So the mage, every mage had the same like little, it's like a little blob in a cloak, basically. There's not a lot to look at. Whereas here, every character has a personalized one. So with Natasha, you know, we can see her like little, her buns and her hairstyle and like her little gloves, and with May we can see like her ears and her like her little like pink outfit that she's wearing. I guess they each look different, and the details actually do match up decently well with the character portraits, so that is so much fun and definitely makes our army feel like so much more distinctive. I'm actually going to egress so we can go res Slade. We now have 10 characters, which is very fun. Ben, sometimes it is better to retreat and regroup. Indeed so. Because Slade is dead, but now he's alive again. And once again, one has to sort of contemplate the fact that if we have a party member with us who can literally raise people from the dead, shouldn't we just easily win? It apparently only costs $80 to raise someone from the dead. It's very cheap. It's cost effective. May, our new friend, says, I'm pleased my magic is useful in our battles. It will be useful. Freeze is a good spell. And she starts at level 8. It's funny, we recruited characters 3 battles in a row, and they start at 6, 7, and 8. Which I guess is like, you'll probably gain 1 level per battle. But yeah, most of our characters are actually level 9 by now, so we're a teeny tiny bit ahead of the curve, but not very much. So we'll have to try and get May like at least 1 level. We also have a Protect Milk hanging around. Who should get the... God, Slade is... Look how fucking fragile he is, but I'm not using it on him. I'm actually going to use it on Natasha, and this is obviously like, you can't go wrong with just use stuff on your faves, but there is actually also a purpose to this, because Natasha, as I mentioned earlier, later in the game, very good, Natasha will basically be the leader of like, let me check what May's item is, half of the party. Yeah, she's up to date. And so same thing as Ben, right? Where if she dies, we have to start over. So giving her a little more defense will just make it more likely for us to not have to start battles over, which I think will be nice. And Also, as a side note, the tile set here is really nice looking. Like the shading is kind of subtle and like detailed. It actually looks pretty. Cave maps for me in video games can be hit or miss. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they don't. This actually looks pretty fantastic. Um, and the graphical effect on the torches is also like, oh, it's really nicely done actually. Props to this game has very nice art. I, I'm a fan of retro kind of pixel art and stuff anyway, and I think this game does a great job with. This obviously isn't quite as retro as the Game Gear version. Maybe I should play a little of the Game Gear version at some point as well, just to kind of contrast it, because it's obviously not quite as fancy. But this looked pretty gorgeous. Well, that's 20 minutes, so whatever. Thank you for watching this slightly choppy episode, hypothetical viewers. Got a little weird in the middle, so it's got to split in two. But yeah, we discovered that we discovered that the king was actually an imposter. It was Gordon who fled. But it turns out Gordon is apparently terrible at running away, because even though we fought a whole battle to get here, he still didn't actually get very far. This is as far as he got. We caught up right away. I don't know, maybe he's trying to trap us so he can kill us. Either that or maybe he's just an idiot. It could be possible. I actually don't remember, as I said, whether we defeat him in this battle or whether it's another fake out and he runs again, but at the very least, next battle rather, I keep forgetting that each battle is not in Fire Emblem, each battle is called chapter whatever. In this game, that's not true. There are 4 chapters and they have battles within that, and so I keep calling it the wrong thing. Saws. But in the next battle, we shall once more confront Gordon and attempt to retrieve the Sword of Hajya, which we've just been chasing muscle march style across a continent here. We've got to get it back. It feels like yakety sax should play in the background of our adventure, which I kind of love the goofiness. But we now have 10 party members. New friend May will get to try out her magic in this battle. Yeah, and I actually do not remember what happens to the battle after this. It's been years. It's been more than 5 years since I previously played this game on the 3DS. But we'll find out together. It'll be very exciting. And I think we'll see some new enemies, the zombies, in this battle. So get excited for all of that on the next episode of Shining Force Sword of Hajya. I hope eventually we'll actually get the Sword of Hajya that it's named after.